think about those people that are serving our country both overseas and here, and they're placing themselves in harm's way while they serve the needs of our country. Thank you. This is now an opportunity for public comment, and please be seated. During public comment, we allow members of the public to talk about things that may not be on the agenda, but and we may not comment on because it's not on the agenda because of the rules of open meeting. But do we see anybody here that is not, who has something to say in public comment? Hearing none of that, we will now go to the Americorps swearing-in ceremony. But before we get to that, which is meaning we go outside, this is my opportunity to invite the Americorps members to introduce themselves. And since this is on streaming video, your parents and those significant others that you've left behind in the communities you come from would have an opportunity to see how much of a fool we can make of you while you're here. So I'd like to start. What I would like you to tell me is your name, what college you're coming from, and just some sense of what's your first impression of both Americorps and Cape Cod. So we'll start in the first row.
Should we stand up?
You can do that.
I'm Tom. I'm from the Boston area. I'm a returning member. So I obviously like Cape Cod, so that's why I came back. And I went to the University of Connecticut and studied environmental science.
Husky. Okay. Starting over here.
I'm Katie. I graduated from Tufts University, and my first impression of this program was that it was going to be great for Cape Cod.
Now, is Tufts in Medford or Somerville? I always wondered about that.
It's like on the line.
Straddles.
Yeah.
I'm Kelsey. I just graduated from Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, and my first impression is that it seems like Americorps has a very positive impact on the community.
Thank you.
I'm Andrea. I just graduated from the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and
Everything's up to date in Kansas City.
Yeah. I am really excited to have the opportunity to make service my job.
Thank you.
I'm Ethan. I just graduated from Eckerd College, and I'm very excited.
Where is Eckerd College?
In St. Petersburg, Florida. And I'm very excited to see Kate from a new perspective while serving in Americorps.
Thank you.
I'm Hallie Rekovich. I'm from Idaho. I just graduated from the University of Idaho, and I'm excited for all of the great experience I will gain here.
My time in Boise was very interesting.
Hi, I'm Meg. I just graduated from Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania. I'm from upstate New York originally, and I
Where in
think
New York?
upstate Rochester.
Right, Rochester?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought Rochester was sort of the stop between Syracuse and
And
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah, in the middle. Yeah, stuck. And I think Cape Cod is beautiful, and I'm really excited to work here.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Allie. I just graduated from SUNY Geneseo College in upstate New York. And so far, I really enjoy the program, and it's very well run.
You missed the Finger Lakes?
The Finger Lakes?
Where Geneseo is?
Not really. It's a little bit west of it.
Matt Cannon, I'm from Rhode Island. I went to Connecticut College, and my first impression was actually how beautiful the undeveloped land on the seashore was.
You have undeveloped land?
Where I'm from, yeah.
My name is Ben. I'm from Hamden, Connecticut, and I'm also a lifelong visitor of Cape Cod, my family's house in Northeast Ham. So I have a great privilege of taking part in national service local to my interests and experience on Cape Cod.
So, previous washer shore finally joined us.
Yes.
Eric from Connecticut. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I've really enjoyed our first few service days, and they've been a lot of fun working with different partners in different towns.
People should know that the University of Wisconsin has a wonderful program called Internet Scout, and if you've never seen it, it's got great information with regard to all kinds of stuff, including the environment. So I think University of Wisconsin does a great job with that. Yes.
my name is Sarah Hildebrand. I'm a recent graduate of Barnstable College, New Jersey, and I'd never been to the Cape before, but I
You're
already
from New
love
Jersey and never came to the Cape?
No.
No.
Jersey Shore. But I love the Cape. It already feels like home, and I'm really excited about how passionate everyone is about this program.
I'm Annie Cook. I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I went to the University of Minnesota, and I'm excited to work with so many people who are ready to serve. What?
Go for it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I just graduated from Arizona State University in Political Science and International Studies. I'm excited to be part of Americorps Cape Cod because it's part of a larger volunteer social movement, and that's really exciting for me.
I've been amazed at the amount of University of Arizona and ASU people that are on the Cape.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them. I was really surprised. Thank you.
My name is Alex, and I just graduated from the University of Wisconsin. And so far, I've been really excited to see how inviting the Cape Cod community has been for Americorps members. So, be happy to see more of that.
Well, one of the things that Wisconsin and the Cape have in common is cranberries, as you know. I think we're like 1 and 2 all the time as far as who's producing the most cranberries. So you'll get the answer to that question in your service here, right?
I'm Ken. I graduated from NC State last year, and I'm really excited about getting a chance to work with all different types of organizations on the Cape.
No, Wolfpack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in the ACC?
Yes.
So you're going to play Boston College at one point, right?
Yeah.
We're going to beat Boston College.
Well, the way they've been playing lately, they may. But on the other hand, you'll know that we were there.
Matt from Florida. I graduated from Florida State University. This is my second year here in the program in the Morehouse. I'm just really excited to be back.
Mark Pfeiffer from New Jersey. Graduated from Roger Williams University in Bristol, Rhode Island. And back for another year of service. And I love the positive influence that Americorps has on our coastal communities here on the Cape.
Well, Roger Williams has gone way up in my estimation since my granddaughter's down there as a sophomore. It's obviously a good school since my granddaughter chose it.
Rob from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I went to Plymouth State University and I did Americorps NCCC last year, and I wanted to do more service back closer to home. That's why I'm here.
Now, did you wrestle for Plymouth
No.
State? They have a big program.
No, I didn't. I had some wrestling friends. They protected me.
Good.
I'm Matt Sinkowitz. I just graduated from the University of Michigan.
Big blow! I was there once, so whenever I talk to my fellow colleague who went to OSU, I have to sort of back off a little bit.
Gotta be careful with that.
Oh, yeah.
And so far, the people have been really great. The service partners and all the Americorps people have all been really excellent.
Yeah.
My name is Michael Souza. I come from Taunton, Massachusetts.
From where?
Taunton. And I graduated from Bridgewater State College and a degree with earth science. And so far, this is looking to be one of the better years of my life. So.
Excellent. Nice.
Yes.
My name is Dan Schell. I'm from Maryland. Went to St. Mary's College, Maryland. Last year I was a team leader with NCCC, same program that Ken was also. Excited to do another year. Wanted to do something more coastal.
Great. Welcome.
Stephanie from California. I graduated from Southern Oregon University, and I served with Americorps Cape Cod last year, and so this is my second year of the program, and I'm excited to continue exploring and serving on Cape Cod.
Well, I was in Oregon this summer, and I can tell you that they could use more support because they have a lot of things going on out there that I was really surprised at. A lot of good stuff. So I hope that if you stay, welcome, but if you decide to go back, there's a place for you out there to help them out. Okay.
I'm Janet Zarati. I'm from Idaho. I just graduated from Swarthmore College. And Swarthmore. Yeah. Thanks. I'm excited about all the wonderful people that I've met so far.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dana. I'm from New Jersey, and I went to Montclair State in New Jersey. I'm just excited to get to know another part of the U.S. and serve.
Great.
My name is Ruby. I'm from Eugene, Oregon, and graduated at the University of Oregon in environmental science. And this is my first time pretty much in the East Coast, so I'm excited. Yeah, love the ducks. And I'm excited to just serve out here.
And I'd like to also have the staff introduce themselves, the Americorps staff. They all this year have been Americorps members in the past.
Darlene, before you do that, I just want to say I'm happy to see that the Cape Cod Times reporter has joined the Americorps team as well. He's in the uniform.
Great. Anyway, I would like to start with Riley and have the staff introduce their great leadership.
Absolutely. My name is Riley Moffett. I was a member in year 11 and 12 in the Bourne House, and have come back to work for the staff this year as a program specialist, focusing on service and the individual placements for our program.
My name is Kristen Marshall. I was a member year 9 out in the Wellesley House. Couldn't get enough of the program. Went over to the Upper Cape and worked as the supervisor in the Bourne House year 10. Took a little bit of a break, worked for Mass Audubon, went to the North Shore a while, and then I had the opportunity to come back here and work as a staff person as the Community Outreach Day program specialist, and kind of jumped at it. So I came back in December, and my first impression of this group is like really capable, really optimistic, really laid back. I'm really, really looking forward to working with you guys this year.
Hi, I'm Emma Snellings. I was a member in year 12 in the Bourne House, and now I am the Wellfleet House supervisor. So I
You're going to take pictures this year too? You're going to take those pictures again this year? Embarrass everybody?
Yes. We're excited to be on the Lower Cape now.
All right, now that...
One more. I'm Keith Hopkins. I was a member last year in the Bourne House, and this year I'm the house supervisor in Bourne. And 1 year living in a house with 13 people wasn't enough, so I decided to do it again.
Excellent.
I'm Amanda Howe, and I was a member in year 7, and I'm the program coordinator for the program now.
Okay, and of course there's Darlene.
Hello. Darlene Johnson-Morris.
Now that we've had you introduce yourselves to us, I'd like to introduce our Board of Commissioners. Sheila Lyons, who lives in Wellfleet.
So see you down there at the Wellfleet House.
Who has a master's from University of Maryland.
Maryland,
Okay,
social work.
So there's the Maryland part, social work.
And they lived in Maryland as well. So.
And so did I at one point. And then there's Pat Flynn, who lives in Falmouth and is an OSU grad. So you've got that, and of course myself, I graduated from Boston College and got my master's at Babson. And
But Boston College tries to keep that secret.
No, I promised the head of the physics department when I was graduating that I wouldn't embarrass him much if he let me finish out, because I thought the nuclear should have been spelled unclear physics as opposed to nuclear physics. And of course, Mark Zielinski, who probably will have something to do with, since he is our administrator and controls the money that comes out. We are visited today, I might mention, by...
I'm a proud graduate of the University of Massachusetts at Amherst.
Yes. And I have to say that they bounced me out of UMass Boston at one point, but that's another story for another time. Jerry
Rappaport. I'm with the League of Women Voters, and I've adopted the commission. Yes. Come and see how the county works.
Of course, and over in the corner, Patrick Cassidy from the Cape Cod Times, let's see,
and the other
David Still, who was from the Barnstable Patriot, who was the only paper that actually covered us. Oh, too bad. So that was another story for another time, as they say. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go outside and take the pledge. Okay, so we have to go around the building, right?
Or are we going out in the front?
Can you go out front?
I think they allow us to open the doors.
Okay, I don't want to hear the bells go off and have security. By the way, you have giant shoes to fill. Although some of us had some concerns, back in the day, say 13 years ago, about how this would all turn out. The fact is that over the time that Americorps has been in service to Cape Cod, you've made enormous contributions, which are greatly appreciated by the community. And we'll talk about that when we get to the
Okay, we can go down the middle hall and out.
You're on.
All right. I've already introduced myself and my fellow commissioners, and on a serious side, there is a lot of opportunity for doing good work here in Cape Cod. And Americorps has an opportunity to participate in that. Your predecessors have made a good reputation for themselves, and we're convinced, because we have been supporting the program mainly through county funds, but we've been able to get the support of the state of Massachusetts as well as the federal government to continue the program. We're confident that the commitment that you make as you come in will be reflected in the progress that you make, and the contribution will continue at a very high level. And over time, you have access to all of us. We're very pleased that you're here. We hope that you feel a warm welcome, because we certainly are offering that. And with that, I'll take you part to the serious part, because you will be sworn now. And I hope that you will take this pledge seriously, and we'll start it. The Americorps Pledge. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I will get things done for America.
I will get things done for America.
To make our people safer.
To make our people safer.
Smarter. And healthier. I will bring Americans together.
I will bring Americans together.
To strengthen our communities.
To strengthen our communities.
Faced with apathy.
Faced with apathy.
I will take action.
I will take action.
Faced with conflict.
Faced with conflict.
I will seek common ground.
I will seek common ground.
Faced with adversity.
Faced with adversity.
I will persevere.
I will persevere.
I will carry this commitment.
I will carry this commitment
with me this year.
With me this year.
And beyond.
And beyond.
I am an Americorps member.
I am an Americorps member.
And I will get things done.
And I will get things done.
All right.
And now for the pictures. Oh, the pictures, okay.
All right.
I know you have a bear somewhere.
All of the, we're back. We haven't convened. We're still in convention. Okay.
Yeah, we have.
All right. We have met all of the people that were recommended or invited to serve on this, and you have a copy of the list of people that are serving.
We do.
Okay. We also need, in order to, let's say, in order to conclude, in my opinion, we have the charge. I think we're in general agreement on the support of it. In my opinion, we need to have a vote that affirms both the charge and the authority that we've given to Rob O'Leary and Ron Rauschenbach to, let's say, to affirm the membership, and that we also should give them the authority to add other members during this period of time, as long as they advise us that that they're making adjustments in it, because in this kind of a committee, there's always a potential for other people that might serve their interest, and I think we should give them that authority. So I would like to ask you to have a motion that affirms the charge and affirms the authority that we're delegating to the two co-chairs to run the committee and also add commission and add members based upon their opinion as to what would facilitate the charge that we're giving them.
Right. Okay, so we'll do this in 2 votes.
No, we're doing 1 vote because we're affirming the charge and
Okay.
also affirming the authority of the 2 co-chairs.
All right, I will put forward a motion to approve the minutes, to approve the charge as written, and to empower the co-chairs of the special commission to appoint, we're approving the people that...
Actually,
just to appoint their members.
We're affirming
their appointments.
We're affirming the invitations to be appointments, and we're giving them the authority to make future appointments.
Okay, so I will move that as stated.
And I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So you got that thing?
Yeah, motion Sheila, second Pat.
And I just want to thank David Still for helping us clean up those details.
Clean up what? You mean there was
Just
there
those
was
last
something
minute
in the
details
paper?
that we had to do.
Yes, only I got in the paper, I could have probably read it in there.
I thought there was a message in there.
Well, of course, they didn't, how ironic, I didn't get the paper this week.
Why don't we move to the
Well,
next?
we'll forward it on.
I have a copy of what we just did here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are you thanking for?
What do you?
The press
Well, it was.
is valuable.
I think it was always our intent that this is what would take place.
Right.
Perhaps it was never officially affirmed or ratified or voted for at a previous time. And so this
It's a
is
housekeeping.
exactly what we're doing
It's
today.
housekeeping.
It was always our intent, but now it has to be formalized for the record. The record does not show
And just-
that we
It does
did
not.
that.
And
And
if we-
David pointed that out, and we are always grateful.
Yes. And also,
Someone points us in the right direction occasionally.
while we're on the subject, we might want to say that the Special Commission to Review County Government's next meeting is October 5th at 6:30 at the Assembly of Delegates hearing room. And it is open to the public, but it will be a working group, so it's not a public hearing. People can watch and observe, but it's really the committee's working sessions.
They've yet to post that meeting.
I understand that, but as far as we all know, I think that is the meeting date, so we might as well say it here.
Well, we must remind them they must post the meeting.
Oh, yeah, they know about that. And Kara is going to work with Pat Eldridge, who's sort of Henri. She used to work for Henri, and she's going to help them out administratively, and Kara is going to help post the meeting for them and all that.
And may I also ask another question on this, excuse me, topic? In the organization meeting that they did hold, they were talking about the different documents that they would need, and Mary LeClaire is on this commission, and she said, well, if you just go on the website, all the documents are there. Well, that's taking time to find where they are, and is it under the commissioners or Assembly of Delegates? I was wondering, as we do with different issues, even the vegetation management group, we put a bullet, a link on our website that will have that name. And if we could put those documents, or any documents that they're going to be doing, like the charge, the membership, the
that's
charter.
Kara to put all that together.
If we could put all of those in one place,
She's
it would
going
be
to put a
easy for
special
the
section
members.
for the special commission on the website.
I mean, I think that would be helpful. It's not Barnstable County's committee, but it's about Barnstable
that's
County. And a
where
lot
we'll
of people
disseminate
will look at our website just to try to find information. And I think that would be helpful to the public and to the members.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have posted the FY10 as we promised, and that has been on there from the Friday after the meeting, so that's been available to
Yeah,
us.
no, I
as well
asked
as the
Kara to
treasury
do that, to
report.
put together a little section that has the special commission, and we'll put whatever information that they've gathered,
Their
we'll
minutes or
post their
whatever.
minimum, post their agendas on there.
Right,
Yep.
okay, great.
And so before we leave that, so remember last time we spoke about doing the presentations.
Yes.
So if you would take a copy, I did send these to you, I didn't get any feedback, so I printed them out.
Yes, I
actually
saw-
didn't see
I-
it.
I saw his-
He made some general
Did he?
comments.
Maybe I didn't see it then. Maybe I didn't get it. So take one, that's one copy of that. That's the kind of overview of the county's functions. This is the finance overview one. I saw 3 sort of distinct presentations. And then this one, I just took the charter committee one we did a couple of years ago, and that one, I didn't change anything on that one. Those 2 other ones I made some changes to, but the charter one I didn't. So we need to figure out whether we want to leave them as it is, make some changes, or what you want to do. Because I don't know if you guys are on the agenda on the 5th.
I believe we were asked to be on the agenda on the 5th in order to give a general overview. My opinion was that and I think I said that in the note that I sent on to you, that we send these presentations ahead of time, that we speak to the Home Rule Charter and the county regional government piece and answer questions, because they would have had an opportunity to review these ahead of time rather than going through it frame by frame. And that we suggest that while we will send the finance overview to them, that those be saved for time when Mark could be available to respond.
Probably the
to
next
it.
meeting.
Yeah, so, but I think that the main thing that we have been asked to do is to give some historical context with regard to county government, and I believe that only you and I are going to be available for that.
No,
So-
I'm going to be there.
Oh, good.
Well, it's the Maya board, strategic planning, but I'm going to go to this and then drive up after this to Berkshire.
Okay, then what I suggest we do is that you take a look at the presentation and decide which piece of it, you want to handle, and then we break it up into thirds, okay?
We might want to forward these on to the two co-chairs as well
That's what I
first.
said.
And they might say, this will be too much, this, maybe you should focus on this part of it.
If I
and
may,
we'll
I
read
think the charter one, you don't need to deal with it all. It's sort of a reference guide for the committee. That way they see what's in the charter, where it is, and sort of what that section does. So I don't think, and they can read that themselves, I don't think they need that unless they want it. I would focus on this one, the kind of functions and what we do, and then the finance one. Those are the two.
Right, and if they have specific questions about these at another time, they can call somebody back and...
Now, the other piece is that they have posted some questions to us.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Where are those?
Those have been sent to all of us. They're from Pat Eldridge.
Oh, okay, I didn't see them.
I haven't seen them either.
Oh,
well, maybe you should forward that on.
Well, I will forward it, because I thought I saw you copied on them. And they basically, and I think I sent you a note saying that they as part of my comments on this, was that some of them deal with service delivery and some of them deal with governance. And I think that we have to decide whether or not we want to answer them in writing or respond to them, while we're there. So I'll make sure I forward that on to you. They were talking about what would be a better leadership role. For example, would it be should there be a single executive, for example, and then what would we see as far as the organization of service delivery? Would it be across the region, or would it be sub-region? Well, we've answered those questions before. And the one thing I want to make clear is that we have some evidence of successful service delivery for regional and sub-regional programs, that have been in existence and operating for some time. So I don't want to pass over that, with on the sense that we're approaching the provision of regional services as we're just deciding to do it. We have been doing it, and we have been doing it very well. The problem has been the political will within the community, and more recently the Assembly, to take a look at how do we work together.
Yes.
And I emphasize that part of it. How do we work together, and how do we find successful strategies by which we can work together, as opposed to taking what I'd call the appearance of an adversarial role. I think that some of the remarks that I've heard have been unfortunate in that they emphasize, the areas of disagreement rather than the areas of agreement. And I think that hopefully, that as this process works itself out, the Assembly will begin to see that their role as a check and balance is one that we cannot discount, but I think we have to take into account to how more effectively, to exercise that.
Yes. I totally agree, and last week was a perfect example of where town interest can sometimes trump the regional interest. And that's unfortunate. And it's also unfortunate the way the structure is set up, that there was opportunity for any of those questions to be clarified ahead of time. And it's weighed, there's always, it seems as though it's put off until the camera is rolling and the time runs out for people to be able to answer those questions, so then it's a moment of, this is really what I do. So anyway, that's an unfortunate, right there is something wrong with that structure. Whether the structure exists, there should be some sort of
understanding. There does need to be a check and balance. However, I thought that Julie Taylor was accurately reported, I believe, in today's
Cape Cod Times, yes,
by a reporter named Patrick Cassidy, that accurately reported a concern that I personally absolutely agree with, as far as if we are to retain local control, we have to have local, cooperation to maintain that. Because right now, with this vote, we have now ceded our authority to the state and to the federal government.
And to
trust
anybody
me,
that comes in. There's no parameters for anybody to understand.
So
It's no
trust me,
process.
we have evidence that with Cape Wind, that when the Utility Siting Board, which is the state agency that supports this, they have an entirely different view of our needs and our interest than than they have for people who are not directly concerned with the problems that we have. So that failure to support local control has repercussions that are going to be very expensive for the community, and I believe that the community will not get the support that they need in order to meet the goals that we have. But again, that's just, I can only state that as my personal opinion. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, the only thing I would suggest to them, I think the really big decision, recommendation that they may make is, if we are going to be an effective regional government, we need to have sub-regions. Because an individual authority of each town, and I realize it will still remain there for the governance of the town, but if we're going to be effective on a regional basis, you can't regionalize when you have 15 different entities. So I think they really need to look at, if this is a regional government, and we need to be sub-regions to make it effective, how do we do that?
Well,
and I think that's the major recommendation that should come out of this commission, is to deal with that. Because that's going to be the basis for getting things done. Because there will be some efficiencies that can be achieved on a regional basis, and there are going to be some, by virtue of what they are, will only be effective or efficient if they're on a sub-regional basis, because the regions are different. Even in many ways, they are completely different in terms of their population, in terms of their ability to finance themselves, and all of that. So I think the big question is, if we're a regional government, what is the best configuration for this regional government to work? So,
Well, I think that's going to all come out in the discussion.
It will.
I see exactly what you're saying, but
But it drives the discussion.
I'd like to have that discussion because there could be unintended consequences of that too, because now you're making, now there's still 3 different entities with 3 different views of themselves, and how do those 3 work in
that's what I mean. That's
harmony?
That's right.
And with the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really what has to be defined is, what is the mission of the county? What is our role here to be relevant in the lives of those that we serve? So
Well, I believe that
I'm looking
we
forward
can
to
make
all of these discussions.
Okay, as am I.
We're not
But I
the
believe
committee,
that in
but the
terms
commission.
of establishing our relevance, I think we have established that. I think that what we haven't established is what I would call a consolidation of the political will for the programs that we have been supporting and promoting, so that we get, more sense of involvement. Now, it brings up an interesting question. That's something we can work on right now with regard to wastewater management. Now, you know that when Paul and Andrew came in the other day, that I expressed some great concern about what do we do going forward. Now, we have in progress the regional policy plan, which has an element of water quality and water quality management. I believe it would be very useful if, rather than waiting for the 30-day reporting time, that we take those bits and pieces that concern water quality and give them to the wastewater collaborative to review and to have input at a much earlier stage, as well as trying to incorporate, the towns, because 30 days may not be enough time in order to really vet the thing out. Now, I think what we found out in observing in Yarmouth was that we had not gotten the support of the people that are directly affected. We'd gotten the support of the elected bodies, we'd got the support of those who, had a higher degree of understanding of the urgency that was involved, but we did not get the support of the people who pay the bill. So I'm suggesting that in order to have an effective regional policy plan that takes into account the people that are going to be most directly affected, we have to involve them at a much earlier stage, because if we don't do that, we certainly deal with them at the end when we have not.
Right, and I think that what people have to understand is that all of our efforts is not to just get this done, and we're seeing a problem that we feel is a problem, and it doesn't really, where is the priority of it? It's everything. I mean, that is number one priority. All of, not just our housing values, our drinking water, our ponds and our lakes. I mean, our tourism, our fishing industry. There's billions of dollars at stake here. So I think that what we have to impress upon people is that we're working very hard to keep that cost. We recognize that the taxpayer cannot carry the cost themselves. So, our efforts are going beyond just looking at the solution, but also looking at the funding and having those conversations with our state and federal leaders constantly.
Okay.
So there's a huge effort because we recognize we're there to keep the costs down, and we're trying to show them ways of how we can best do that. And we're not saving them enough money, obviously, in the conversation.
No, it goes beyond the money piece, because the solution to the problem is one that maintains the value of what we prize here in Cape Cod. We have CPAs, for example, that support the interest of the individual communities. Is this the time to introduce the idea of having a county-wide CPA that would be directed towards protecting our environment, protecting and identifying opportunities to raise those funds that support what I would call those, let's say those areas of confluence and influence. For example, in just speaking of my own community, Howard, Dennis, and Brewster, for example, have a lot, let's say a lot in common, and not much in common with Sandwich, Falmouth, and Bourne. So in terms of, let's say, subsets, and then how do these subsets, if we're creating circles, how do they all gather together?
Well, this was why the board was changed in the Water Collaborative, because again, they did a good job in educating people more aware of our water problem. They did a good job in getting the SRF funding, but they really weren't. I mean, there were 15 representatives from towns that still, very much like the assembly, they reverted back to this is what my town is doing and it's my town. Whereas it was originally set up to be around the watersheds, and bringing the selectmen in there educated the selectmen, who are the people who have to have the political will. And I think that's having its effect because the Board of Selectmen in Yarmouth understood more clearly the problem and how they have to work together. So I think that is the goal of what we're doing and the effort, and I think that has improved in the last year since that board
Which gets me to the next point of it behooves us to instruct the Cape Cod Commission to incorporate their regional policy plan activities, incorporate that in a way that involves the water quality collaborative, so that they're involved now rather than waiting for sometime where things are finalized without that input, because at that point it's a fait accompli. They're going forward with something they're committed to. So I would suggest to you that, since you're a representative in the collaborative, that you reach out to the collaborative to find out how you can how you can set up that avenue of communication between the collaborative and the Cape Cod Commission.
Well, I do think that is happening, and I think it's happening very well, and I think that there is a lot of that information being passed back and forth, but I will certainly...
Okay, and I would ask Pat to follow up with the Cape Cod Commission as well, because you're an executive committee member, and tell them of our, if you share that opinion, share that that interest in getting that contact and communication.
Okay.
Okay.
We've probably gone beyond the pale here.
Do we have anything?
You sort of veered off of that.
Yes,
we did.
We have to stay on topic a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that all has to do with questions that have been raised by the commission.
I understand. Yes.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find that. I know that it's on my other computer, and I will forward it to all of you. Okay, we see on the agenda we have need for a...
So we need the minutes,
yeah.
if you will. Review the minutes.
Okay, has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the next item is the needs action. Let's see.
number 3, the Cape-wide build-out analysis. Now, that's done by the
That's
Cape.
$150,000 that we got from
the state.
Wait, I thought we were just going to
I'm
ask the
sorry.
question. That's not my question. My question is, if that is done by the Cape Cod Commission,
Yes,
the building analysis?
yes.
Right, and, yeah, okay, that's what I.
And this is what it's paying for these.
Anytime we get a new grant,
Right.
that's what we consider, we set up a new fund.
Right.
Any other question?
No, not on that.
What is CCMHG wire transfers?
Cape Cod Municipal Health Group.
No, that's the
Health insurance.
That's a big chunk, almost $360,000.
Well, that's our medical insurance, that's
Yeah.
what we do.
And they like
Okay.
wire transfers because
What-
they give you a discount if you do wire transfers, so
Yeah,
on premiums.
well, yeah, it's cheaper.
it's
Yeah,
cheaper.
that's right. As a matter of fact, they've set that up for individuals as well, for house insurance. They,
Oh, you mean through the,
for wire transfer. In
Yeah.
other words, if you set it up so that they can have an automatic transfer,
Automatic
they don't charge you
deductions,
because of the...
I make a motion to approve the summary of action.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
did you have any others,
Aye.
Pat? You said
No,
you had-
no, that was
Right.
the one.
I didn't even
I have
check.
another one, but not for today.
Okay, we need to check that, so,
I'm not looking for trouble.
I know, neither am I.
all right, let's see. Do we need to take a separate vote to ratify your actions? Or is that part of the needs action?
No, I make that part of the needs action.
All right, do you have any individual reports from commissioners who have attended functions and events of note? Sheila?
No.
Well, I would just say that I did attend the State House Award ceremony for 2 of our community's members who received achievement awards on the Community Preservation Act. And there were 10 statewide altogether, and 2 were from the Cape, 1 from Harwich and 1 from Falmouth, which was really nice. There was a significant group there from Harwich, by the way, to recognize Jack.
Brown.
You know?
Jack Brown.
Jack Brown, right. So, and it was Barbara Schneider from Falmouth, so it was really nice. It was a very
Two
nice
wonderful
ceremony.
communities getting...
Yes, that's right, that's what I
do
thought
have
too.
something I would like to talk about. Yesterday was the Smart Cape Visioning session. It was held at Spalding Rehab with the Commission, Cape Cod Chamber, EDC, Open Cape, and Mass Technology. That is the working group, and they meet every week, and they've been working since the summit in this past summer, the beginning of the summer. And the gentleman that was the guest speaker at that summit came back to facilitate.
Smarter Cape Cod.
Yeah, the Smarter Cape Cod came to facilitate a discussion of getting their mission statement together and what are they going to be working for. And he is from the, I think it's a International Center of Excellence. And they give out awards every year
Yes,
to
the guy from New
different
York, right?
communities. Yeah, the guy from New York. And it was really a very good session. It was started at 10. I guess they didn't get out until late. I had to leave around 1 o'clock. Excuse me. But what you really can see is, I think a lot of people are looking at Open Cape as the business, and Open Cape is the vehicle. I mean, it really is like when the government would, build that highway. Communities, businesses developed around it, and really what they're looking at is what is it that you are going to build around it? What are the different things? And there were people, they were calling. It was a really great conference where they had people speaking from Stratford, Ontario, and somebody from Finland. No, I missed the last one, but it was another city. However, they're doing great progress, and the one distinction that I could see between what they have been able to accomplish through broadband and then through, they own the utility in Stratford, Ontario, the government itself. So the local government owns it. It was able to have smart meters on everyone's home. So that smart meter is where they could link in the broadband. So not only are they having more, it's helping with their efficiency, energy efficiency costs, but education, the ability for businesses to flourish and to interact. I think that people are still, this is all still so new to us that we don't even see the possibilities that are going to be great for Cape Cod. So they are working very, very hard. This is an ongoing effort, and it has been weekly, so it's not as though anybody's sitting around saying, oh, we had a summit, aren't we great? So it was a very interesting and a good group of people working very hard on behalf of the Cape on that one.
Well, I met with the Harwich application group for Open Cape, and I interviewed Tony DeSilva from Cape Net for my television program and asked him specifically, what is he doing to make the contact with with local commercial entities in order to to provide the ramps that go on and off this highway that that's being put in place. And his method to begin with is working with the Chambers of Commerce. However, I pointed out to him that it is important to identify where these clusters of commercial activities are, and also where some of the development possibilities are. For example, if there is a proposed industrial park that is not populated, with all of the potential that it has, that still becomes an incentive for, let's say, for developing that that industrial activity, if the infrastructure is there to support that communications link. And I know that he's meeting with the Harwich Chamber of Commerce to talk about it, and I had gone to a meeting that he had been at with the LC3, and I always forget what that is. Is that the local Chambers of Commerce? He had met with all of the directors at a meeting that they had over at the Hyannis Yacht Club, I guess it was in August, where he was reaching out to them. So he had suggested some areas where he's working on, but it does need to have more visibility in terms of the fact that, as Gary Delia said, the highway's going to be there. The question comes: are we taking those steps within each one of the communities to have an appropriate ramp that makes sense? Now there are alternate competitive means of, let's say, that are already present, and each town has to decide on the basis of what makes economic sense in terms of where you would hook up or where you would change things. The commitment of Open Cape, as I understand it, is to connect the libraries and public safety.
Well, each community,
it's beyond even what we can even imagine. But there's great opportunity not only for local government, but it's going to really be a benefit to those who want to work and promote their businesses here, because it's being able to be global and stay local.
But right now we're at a point where each of the communities has to plan for the last mile connection.
Well, they're calling it a middle mile service.
Each town was given, when Open Cape decided that the buildings that would be connected would be schools, some schools, not every school, library, police, fire, communities had to agree as to which connections they wanted. They couldn't have everything. Now, I know in Falmouth, we're having an article for the April town meeting that we've added schools to connect to this, which we have to pay for because it's not part of Open Cape.
County's doing that bid, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and other towns have to do the
bid.
same. And then they have to also have a plan for the last mile. The EDC had originally thought that they could put out a grant that would help communities do that. But at the last meeting, I had suggested to them that it's almost too late, because if communities need to fund that, they have to fund it in the upcoming town meetings. And so they don't have time, in a way, to respond to the grant, because now towns are beginning to plan their budgets for FY13. And so they have to have all of those articles in the April or May or March town meetings, wherever they have them. So that planning has to already be done. So it's kind of late to put a grant out so a town can actually respond to that. But you're talking the bigger picture. This is like the meat and potatoes for the towns to get this going.
Yeah, to start wrapping their minds around it. But the one difference between Stratford, Ontario, and the other city that I was told about afterwards, was they have a different tax system you know, they tax higher and those monies are used for the benefit of all. And it is amazing the benefit, the public benefit, that when government is working appropriately
Takes care of its
and
people.
taking care of its people, it can do great things and have great possibilities for the future. And it seems like European countries are able to succeed where we have all the tools, but we're having some trouble in getting
Surely
it
you're
done
not
as
suggesting
fast.
socialism.
I was going to say, you socialist.
Well, it sounds like it.
Well, you know,
Before
we
I
have a
go-
lot of socialist things that happen in this country that no one wants to talk about. Number one, the military.
Before I go, I wanted to say that, because I have to leave, it's 11, is at the State House yesterday, the Senate President spoke at the beginning of this CPA award ceremony. And we had heard that the surplus for this year was $300 million. She announced yesterday that it was something like $456 million. Don't hold me to that 56 number, it's somewhere, it's over 450, which is amazing. And in terms of unemployment, I mean, there was pretty interesting numbers that you gave, but that surplus. Now, the governor had said that when it was $300 million, that was, most of it would go into the rainy day fund, and he set aside $50 million for economic development. That's what I'm going to cost.
Yes, I hope you have a big fat bag.
Economic development, with my big bag. So, on the economic
Bring it all
development
home.
piece. Because that money will be done through a supplemental. And I guess it's going to happen in a very short period of time, so anybody that's looking for funds.
Given the estimate is higher, do you think the 50
Oh,
will be
I
higher?
don't know that, but anyway, this is, I'm going because of the living laboratory on wastewater.
Yeah.
And so we'll see.
Well, the only thing on my report, just
Yeah.
have two things for the county. You can get your flu shot as a county employee if you wish. They're doing flu shots tomorrow. Supposed to register for a time, but I'm sure if you showed up as a commissioner, they'd probably sneak you in somehow. But there is a $10 fee, so we're doing the flu clinic. Hopefully you've signed up. And the other thing is the cooperative extension, the Buy Fresh, Buy Local, launched a pilot community-supported fishery program. So we're doing a fish distribution, like a fish share program. You can pay $129. You should get a discount. A county employee gets a discount. And local fishermen will deliver you fish 6 times over the next few weeks. I think it's once a week. Fresh fish, they'll bring it. And that's one of the concerns I had with Bill, of course, is Bill, not everybody's got a refrigerator here. They can't bring it in the morning, so they're going to arrange to bring it late in the afternoon on a Friday, I believe, or late in the day on one of the weekdays. And you can bring fresh fish home to your family.
I like that idea.
So there's more information available at harvest-delivery.com. It's open to everyone. I think county employees get 10% discount.
And this is like a cooperative, the way that
It's like
you
a
can do,
cooperative.
it's the cooperative
It's
where
like
you pay in and they deliver
Tim
some
does at the
vegetables
farm.
and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I think it's great, and that notice has gone out to even all the court.
It went
people
through,
here.
it went to all the county employees. We don't have a way to get that information to the court.
Maybe you should send it
Well,
to
if you can't get
Anastasia.
your flu shot here, I have been
And she
walking
can send it
Walmart
out to
one
her
day.
employees as an
And
FYI.
they were giving, they
Although
were.
she's
doing
probate,
flu
so
shots.
And they
And the
it's a
person who
logistical
did it
problem to get
was a friend of hers.
communicated with the court.
They do
The
it in
nurse.
Star Market and CVS.
Yeah.
Send them over a flyer.
We did have, last Friday, we went to the legislative breakfast for suicide
Yeah.
prevention.
Yes.
Okay.
I was there at the end.
Right. Well,
So
the
we're
most important thing, all
cautious.
3 of you were there, but it was well attended by the legislative delegation.
It was.
And it's very important that we draw attention to the fact that we do have an ongoing suicide prevention activity, and it's something that deserves, that deserves support from not only the legislative delegation, but also the community, to understand that the problem has not gone away yet. It's something that requires continuing vigilance on our part. And finally, I went to the MPO meeting. They had a special meeting because there was a problem with regard to the appointment of sub-regional members. The Attorney General apparently has said that the fact that there was a ballot taken, in their mind, represents a secret meeting, and therefore, according to the first part, we have to have a meeting that convenes all 83 town councilors and selectmen, and have a quorum of such in order to make that appointment. I don't know how you're going to do that, but...
Well, there is no such entity. That's
No.
the odd
Yeah.
thing,
Well-
that entity doesn't exist.
It's not even possible.
Right.
Well, the Cape Cod Commission is trying to come up with some alternate schemes
Well,
with
the
regard to
easy
addressing it.
alternate,
They wouldn't let us do it remotely. They wouldn't, because they,
Can't do that.
Jessica said, because they,
well, if they say, or say the Upper Cape communities could have a representative, well, it's a lot easier for the Upper Cape communities to meet, and no, it isn't.
But you don't have
remember,
entities, there's no
remember,
entity.
Forget that.
you have
So-
15
I know.
communities that
Well-
have the majority of whom are volunteers who are gainfully employed. So in order to have a meeting that you're talking about, the logistics are horrendous.
Well, I know, and you said this was wrong. Every selectman received a ballot in the mail
Yes.
to vote for somebody.
Right.
And we determined that was not appropriate, that each selectman has no authority individually. So you have no authority to
Right.
vote as an individual. So what we did was in our regular selectmen's meeting, we voted as to who we wanted to represent.
Right.
So it was the vote, and that vote was conveyed. But now apparently that isn't a legitimate vote either.
Well, that would be a
Even-
legitimate vote. The trouble is that, so say it's
But it
Falmouth,
doesn't-
Bourne, and Sandwich. You vote for one guy, Bourne
They
votes
vote
for
for
another guy,
somebody
Sandwich
else.
votes for a different guy.
I know.
So
It
where
really
does
doesn't
that
make
leave you?
sense.
So
Doesn't
it's
leave you
At least we
anywhere.
voted.
It is very confusing,
Legally,
and once
but not-
again,
Right,
once again,
exactly.
it points out that the people that are enforcing the open meeting law and are not subjected to it do not take into account what I would call what happens in the real world.
Yeah, well, that's true, John.
All right, that's all I
I'll
have.
see you next time.
All right, good luck.
I have nothing else as well.
Bring back lots of money.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm working on it.
good girl.
So I think that's it.
You don't have any new business?
No.
You don't have anything, Margie?
No, I do not. So, next meeting is, we are going to convene at the farm, in the farmhouse. I believe it's going to be in the morning because I think there was a conflict that somebody had on the afternoon. Yes, on October 5th. And we will deal with the whole Tim Fry release.
Okay. Anything else? You just sign papers?
Just sign papers, so I will
Okay.
make a motion
Move
to adjourn.
Okay. So moved. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're done.
Okay?
Thank you, everyone.